How's it going, guys? So I've driven my Huracan now for 5,000 miles. Thought this would be a good time to talk about maintenance costs. Something that comes up a lot with exotic cars is, how much does it actually cost to maintain it? Buying it is one thing, but does it cost an arm and a leg? Does it cost as much as the car is worth to maintain it? That's something people want to know. Now, for some cars, it is true, they cost a lot, but others, not necessarily so much. So I'm going to give you my experience with the Huracan, how much exactly I've had to pay to maintain the car, and then I'm going to summarize some of the experiences of other people on forums like Lamborghini Talk or Huracan Talk. Those are very valuable resources for gathering information, whether you already own a Lamborghini and you have questions, or if you're wondering just out of the blue, what does it cost to maintain a car like a Gallardo or a Huracan or something like that. First off, how much have I paid in maintenance on this car? The answer is $320. Now, what is the $320 for? Well, this is something that I'm the only Huracan owner that's had this problem. So it's potentially not actually a problem, so to speak. When I was in Monterey, my car's brake lines in the rear were disconnected, leaving brake fluid on the ground, and I couldn't really stop the car. It was pretty scary. There's possible causes of this. Potentially, while the car was being transported, somebody could have tried to do an act of sabotage and actually go and try to unscrew the brake lines. It's possible that the way the car was strapped down caused it, or you never know anything. I drive the car hard. It is possible that happened, but I really doubt it. I had to take the car to an Audi dealership. It was the only place nearby. They did a fluid flush. Yes, 320 bucks is kind of a ripoff for that, but in the 5,000 miles I've driven this car, that has been the only expense. So what are your other expenses? Well, apart from gas, I mean, I average 12.5 miles per gallon. I drive the car pretty hard. In the scheme of things, for a car of this nature, that's not actually that bad. And the gas obviously doesn't cost more. A lot of people ask, how much does it cost to fill up a tank of gas in a Huracan? Well, it's no different than a BMW or a Mercedes if they have a similar size tank and they both take premium. The cool thing is, when you buy a Huracan, it comes with 3-year unlimited mileage. That's really key because I'm going to drive this car all the time. Basic and powertrain warranty. So if anything goes catastrophically wrong, the engine blows, the transmission fails, that's all covered under warranty. You've also got, this is kind of interesting, and I found this just browsing around Lamborghini's website. I've never really heard anyone talk about this. They will warranty the car for rust-related issues up to 12 years. So if your car starts rusting, I guess give Lamborghini a call and they'll figure it out for you. That's pretty neat. So that's warranty taken care of for you. What about annual services? Some people have heard that Ferrari and some cars, you have to take the engine out for an oil change and you've got these crazy service prices. And for some of the older cars, that was true. But for the Huracan, expensive or not expensive, it's all relative. But in my opinion, it's not actually that bad. So the yearly service cost for the car, you're supposed to do, basically it's just an oil change every year, is about $1,000 depending upon which dealership you go to. I mean, it's anywhere from $800 to $1,500. It's kind of all over the map. Now, that is kind of a ripoff. It's a large ripoff for an oil change. But here's the thing. You can do it yourself. It's about $300 in parts for all the oil and the filter and the tools you need, which would be awesome to do, and it's not all that difficult. The problem is, I would only recommend doing that after your warranty expires, because just because you're going to save, a decent amount of money, $300 versus $1,000, that might not be worth it when it ends up voiding your warranty and your motor blows and you need a new one for $80,000. Probably better safe than sorry. Play the Lamborghini tax game until the car runs out of warranty. Then I'm all for doing it yourself after that. So that's service cost. How about brakes and tires? That's something that every car uses, but in a car like a Lamborghini, potentially the brakes and tires are going to be more expensive. The cool thing is the Huracan LP610-4 comes with carbon ceramic brakes. That's great for track driving. You're going to get less brake fade. But what it's also good for, if you don't have to actually pay for them yourselves, it's standard, so you don't have to pay who knows what, $15,000, $20,000 as an upgrade. If that was the case, probably wouldn't have gotten them. the carbon ceramic rotors and pads associated with those rotors last a lot longer. According to Brembo, carbon ceramic rotors in general can last up to 93,000 miles of normal on-road driving. Obviously, you can lower that significantly if you do a ton of harsh track driving, but chances are, even if you just do your occasional track day, for the entire life of the car, you're not going to need new rotors. Brake pads, apparently they last up to about 40,000 miles. Once again, you don't see too many Lamborghini owners driving their cars 40,000 miles or more, so potentially for the life that you own this car, you're not going to have to replace the brake pads as well. Now, tires. The standard tires on this car are Pirelli P0s. A lot of people put Michelin Pilot Super Sports on the car, which I think are better tires, but here are the cost differences. So the OEM tires, mounted, balanced, installed, is about $1,200 for the Huracan. If you want Pilot Super Sports, it's closer to $1,400 or $1,500, although I think the Super Sports actually last a bit longer, so you may end up saving some money in there. Expect them to last anywhere from 10 to 15,000 miles, depending upon how you're driving them. So really, your only expenses are going to be gas, insurance, tires, and the service cost. Gas, like I said, same with any car, depends how hard you drive it, depends how far you drive it. Insurance is not actually that bad depending upon your driving record. For me personally, it's insured under my own name in State Farm, and it is about $3,400, $3,200 per year. I've heard people have horror stories of paying much more than that for cheaper, not as fast cars. So depending upon your record, it could actually be not all that bad. How much does it cost? I've approximated over 3 years, you're probably gonna spend something like $4,300 total in 3 services and 1 set of tires. So if you break that down year by year, you're paying about $1,400 per year. Is that a lot? In my opinion, it's actually pretty good for a car like this. A lot of used German cars, used Audis, used BMWs, you can spend a lot more than $1,400 per year on a car that maybe you only bought for $10,000 or $15,000. So there you have it. Now you've got a little bit of information on how much it costs to maintain a Lamborghini Huracan. Please leave a comment below whether you think that's more than you were expecting or less, maybe even how much your car costs personally to maintain per year. Be curious to see what all you subscribers drive and how much your maintenance costs are, whether you do it yourself or whether you've gone to the dealership, had positive, negative experiences. I'd love to start an awesome conversation about that. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Please browse our channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.